The earth was splitting. To stay was to vanish. To move was to gamble with the unknown. Every step was a negotiation with gravity. The valley floor promised water, but the path was a blade. Ash clogged the lungs and masked the scent of predators. In this grey world, they relied on touch to stay whole. Even in the wasteland, life left behind small treasures for those with the eyes to find them. The heat of the rift was a double-edged sword, a source of comfort that could swallow a hunter whole. Looking back was a luxury. The migration forced a choice. Remember the past or survive the morning. The Rift Valley was a corridor for many, and they were not the only ones seeking a new home. The first leg of the journey ends at the water's edge, but here, the real struggle for the valley begins. The earth was no longer a silent witness. It was an active enemy, shifting the very foundations of their world. In the Valley of Glass, a single slip could mean a wound that never heals. Exhaustion was a predator that followed them closer than any beast. The air itself had turned sour, forcing the wanderers to seek the high, thin air of the peaks. Water was the ultimate master. Its absence dictated their every turn. To the first humans, the fire in the sky was both a god and a terror they could not yet name. Cooperation was their greatest Tula bond, stronger than the stone they moved. Trust was the bridge across the abyss. Without it, the migration would end in the depths. Heat was a memory. Survival now meant sharing the dwindling warmth of their own blood. Beyond the ash and the breaking earth, a new world waited. The Great Migration had found its heart. The descent into paradise was a free fall into chaos. Nature guards its secrets with walls of sliding earth. In the deep green, the eyes must learn to see what the light hides. Every new plant was a puzzle of life or death. Knowledge was passed through the senses. Water that did not burn or smell of sulfur was a miracle. It washed away the dust of the migration. The crater provided a feast, a brief respite from the hunger that had chased them across the rift. A home is not found, it is taken and defended. The cave was the ultimate prize. Stability allowed for the refinement of skills. The hands began to master the world. Even in a world of survival, there was room for the magic of the small things. The journey had changed them. They were no longer just survivors. They were the keepers of the path. The Great Migration had found its destination. In the heart of the volcano, a new era of life begins. It began as an accident of stone on stone, a fragment of the sun captured in the palm of a hand. The world outside was drowning, turning their sanctuary into a cold, damp prison. Breath was the fuel. To nurture the smoke was to invite a dangerous guest into their home. For the first time, the darkness retreated. The fire was a wall the night could not breach. Heat was no longer a gift of the sun. It was a craft they could hold and keep. In the flickering light, they discovered the spirit of the sulfur shadow that walked when they walked. Fire changed the hunt. It turned the raw struggle for Kalas into a feast that fueled the brain. Sleep was no longer a time of terror. The red eye of the fire watched over them. They were no longer just migrants. They were the masters of the flame, ready to claim the valley. The migration was over. The reign of the first humans had truly begun. The rain had turned the life-giving stream into a mountain of moving water, a barrier between them and the lush plains. To cross was to risk the pull of the depths. Wood that stayed above the water held a secret power. Observation was the first step of invention. Wood that stayed above the water held a secret power. Balance was a new language. Observation was the first step of invention. Wood that stayed above the water held a secret power. From the center of the flow, the world looked different. Danger demanded quick thought. The impossible had been achieved. The river had been conquered by the hollowed remains of the forest. Behind them lay the fire and the rift. Before them lay a land untouched by their kind. The Great Migration continues. The first humans have crossed the water, and the world is finally theirs to walk. The new land was a kingdom of giants. Here, the wanderers were merely shadows beneath the feet of titans. Height was safety. To see the enemy before it saw them was the only law of the savanna. The heat was a slow thief, stealing the moisture from their bones with every passing hour. Every meal was paid for in blood. The savanna gave nothing for free. The sky held the power to reset the world. They waited for the heavens' mercy. To survive the giants, they had to understand them becoming students of the heavy path. Silence was the difference between a hunter and a meal. The stone was an island of safety in a sea of grass. In the quiet of the heights, the bonds of the group were forged, stronger than the stone beneath them. A rare gift of protein fueled their journey across the relentless plains. The land itself could betray them, announcing their presence to every hungry ear for miles. Every crossing was a test of filth and courage. They were not the first to find shelter here. The baobab was a witness to 1,000 migrations. To move forward was to lose the sun, but to stay was to starve. Into the white void they go. The Great Migration enters its most mysterious chapter yet.